Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and we are going to be doing 5-star predictions today. Okay, so we're going to be doing this a little bit different than other booktube videos. This is a super popular video on booktube, is to predict your 5-star books for the year. I'm just going to do it for the next 6 months. These are books that are definitely going to be read in the next 6 months, so we can for sure figure out if my reading taste is as good as I think. Like my prediction taste, like my ability to pick out good books is as accurate as I hope it is. To be honest with you, June, it is June, guys. June has not been my greatest reading month of this year. So hopefully these predictions come out all right. We're about to find out, but without further ado, I'm going to dive right into it. We are going to start with Karenina. So this book I am hopefully going to read in July. I have a buddy read with one of my bookish friends, Jessie. And here's the thought process. I'm going to tell you the thought process. It's a classic, right? It's a classic that is 700 pages long and written by a Russian author who is super popular, or super, like, I guess, influential. So it has to be good, right? Like, it has to be good. It's a 700-page classic. Like, people have read this for centuries now. I think this was published in almost the 1700s. Is that when it was published? Yeah, in like the 1700s. And it's still around, so it has to be good. Honestly, I have not read a classic that I wouldn't rate 5 stars, or I didn't understand why it was 5 stars, if that makes sense. Like, F. Scott Fitzgerald, all of his books, Sherlock Holmes, oh my gosh, who else? Wilkie Collins. Like, all of these people write books that have lasted centuries and decades because they're 5 stars, because people read them and they're like, these are 5 stars. Therefore, I think it's going to be 5 stars, right? Along those same lines, the next book is going to be Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. So this is a Gothic romance classic, right? So once again, it's a classic. I think this one was written in the 1900s, so early 1900s, late 1970s is when this was written. Yeah. 1970s, 1960s, right? So it's not quite, it's lasted decades, right? But here's the twist. It's a Gothic romance. And if you are new here, right, this is your first time seeing a video of mine, Gothic romance is one of my favorites, right? So Dracula, Frankenstein, The Picture of Dorian Gray, like that, Wuthering Heights, that's my crap, right? That's where I live, in the literature classic area. So this for sure has to be 5 stars. In fact, I believe this is going to be 5 stars so much that I keep on pushing it off to read it, because I was supposed to read it in June. I have yet to get to it. It's like the 21st. So hopefully one of these nights I might be able to sit down with a nice mega pint of wine and read this book. But basically, I'll give you a quick synopsis. This book is about a woman who marries a widow, another man who's already had a wife. She's the second wife. She shows up to his estate and some weird stuff happens. So she kind of shows up, and like the presence of the last wife, Rebecca, is kind of still lingering in this estate. The staff still talks about her husband still talks about her. She's getting creepy vibes, all right? We're getting that Gothic part of like creepy vibes of his previous wife. And obviously it gets a little crazy from there. So we're getting excited about that. We're getting pumped. We're gonna read that book. The next book is Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson, and this falls under the lines of, if I'm going to read a 1,200-page book, it better be 5 stars. If BookTube has convinced me to read a 1,200-page book, it better be good, guys. You know, it's better be 5 stars. Anyways, this one is about, this is the 3rd installment in the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. It is a high adult fantasy series. I love the first 2 books so much. Words of Radiance was amazing, so I decided to continue on in the series and read Oathbringer. This one's hard to explain because of the way that Brandon Sanderson writes this book. Like, you still as a reader don't really know what the major plot is. This is only the 3rd book. However, there are like knights, scholars, magic, duels, massive, like there's a war, an impending war on the horizon. There's fantastical creatures. Yeah, this one is very, very amazing. And I'm excited to get into Oathbringer. Words of Radiance is one of those books that everyone says is 5 stars. I haven't heard much about Oathbringer being like a 5-star book for most people. However, I am optimistic. I'm optimistic that a 1,200 page book that people have read, people have read this, is 5 stars. People have read it enough to read Rhythm of War, which is the 4th installment, and that one I think is like 1,100 pages as well. So it has to be good, guys. It has to be good. The next book is, we're gonna get into some contemporaries now. So the next book is A Little Life by Anya Yanagara. So if I'm gonna go through this drama, it better be 5 stars, right? This book follows a group of men and their life and their friendship together. However, their lives are very traumatic. There's a lot of abuse, ableism, there's sexual abuse, there is depression, self-harm, drug abuse, all of those things within this like 700 page book. And if you like, so I'm gonna do a vlog for this because A Little Life vlogs are like a whole different subsection of booktube, where you see people just absolutely lose their minds over this book. And I feel like if an author's writing style, if an author is able to give me such a visceral reaction where I am sobbing and heaving, then it kind of deserves 5 stars. Am I right? Like, I don't think I'm wrong in that train of thought. And I think that goes with anything. So like if I'm laughing, if I am stressed out, nervous, frustrated, if I'm throwing my hands up, if I throw the book across the room, if I'm absolutely sobbing, I feel like the writer did something that deserves 5 stars, all right? If I'm highlighting every other page, if I'm dog-earing, if I'm annotating, if I'm excited to continue reading, then like they deserve 5 stars, right? The only reason that I think this won't get 5 stars is if it does fall under the lines of trauma porn. So I've heard a lot of people say that the book is good, but it gets to a point where it's like, why? Like, why would you write that? There's no reason to go there. It doesn't help the plot. It doesn't help the reading experience. So we'll see if that happens. That would be the downfall of this book. But hopefully it's 5 stars. Hopefully I fall in love with these characters as much as everybody else did. So the next book is a contemporary romance. This one is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I believe this is slowly making the rounds on Book Talk, but this will be the second Christina Lauren book I have read. I liked The Honeymooners. It was good. It was at the beginning of my romance journey, so it was good. It was a solid romance book. This book, however, I think is going to get 5 stars. Simply because it has all of my trigger words. It has all of the tropes that I love. Sounds like an amazing friends to lovers romance. It has alternating timelines. There's like the kids these characters meet as children, as teenagers. One confesses love. It doesn't work out. And they meet then as adults. Both characters are book lovers, and that's kind of like their love language is books, which, you know, it gets me, especially the friends to lovers parts, the love of books. There is like a campy cabin summery setting that I'm very intrigued to get into. I do love that setting. All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata had the same feel of like cabins, West Coast, hiking, lakes, and I love that setting. I think The Great Alone by Christina Hanna did it well too in Alaska, so that's also just like one of those settings that I love to be like enveloped in. So Love in Other Words hopefully will be 5 stars. We're adding romance, friends to lovers, a great setting. I don't see how it can't be. So this is the next one. This is the next 5 star. That is going to complete the group, right? So I went a solid five books. I looked at my TBR cart. I had some other contenders, but I think I had the best reasoning for like these 5 books, right? So we got like classics, long ass adult fantasy books that should be 5 stars. If it's not, then why are you reading it? Just put it away. A emotional contemporary book and a romance contemporary book with all my favorite tropes and settings, and I feel like this is gonna be good. All right, it's only 5 books, so I know I can finish this in 6 months and give you guys like an update. That being said, make sure you subscribe down below. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you subscribe down below, you'll be able to see whether or not these end up being 5 stars, whether or not I can predict good books if I know my own reading taste. So go and subscribe down below. All of my links to support the channel are down below as well. Peruse, hang out, drop a comment, drop a like. Tell me some of your 5-star predictions, if there's any new releases that you think should be 5 stars. I'm always looking for more books to add to the TBR. You guys can't see it, but my TBR card's over here. Also, if you guys were wondering, in my last video, Nimna was over here. My sweet nemesis. This is her spot in the house. I think she's decided it's right in front of her window on my little bed. If only you could see her. She's like cozied up next to a book too. My heart. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for hanging out with me. I don't think she appreciated that. And I hope everyone's having a wonderful summer. Bye. Hey, hello, Nimia. Hey, hello, pretty kitty. You think that book's gonna be a good one?